So we are going to talk about thought and its power today. I'm going to start out with two of my favorite readings. The first one is from The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, and I will bet Cynthia Zink can repeat this with me word for word, because she is actually doing the practice that Bob Proctor recommends for people that want to change their consciousness, and that's reading 4 chapters from this book for 90 days straight. And Cynthia's very close to day 60. So I'm just, you know, she doesn't need me to be proud of her, but I've never known anybody that has done that work and actually done it. And I get a text from her every day, and every day I'm just like, oh my God, she's so much closer. So anyway, now for the reading. Every person has the natural and inherent power to think what they want to think. But it requires far more effort to do so than it does to think the thoughts which are suggested by appearances. To think according to appearance is easy. To think truth, regardless of appearances, is laborious and requires the expenditure of more power than any other work a person is called upon to perform. There is no labor from which most people shrink as they do from that of sustained and consecutive thought. It is the hardest work in the world. And then from Psalm 141. Set a guard, O Lord, over my mouth. Keep watch over the door of my lips. Do not incline my heart to any evil thing, to practice wicked works with men who work inequity, and do not let me eat of their delicacies. So our thought has power. We know that, right? We know that because if we have one day, 1 year, 10 years, 100 years, where we have practiced this philosophy, Ernest Holmes' big thing is change your thinking, change your life. And so if you can change your thinking to change your life, obviously it means thought has power. And yet, how many of us go down the rabbit hole? So I will share a little story with you that I thought was, it's kind of like that little God download thing. So as many of you know, we put our house on the market in August, and right out of the gate, we got a buyer. And within 72 hours, that buyer backed out. That was all in about the 2nd week of August. And Paul and I had plans, right? We didn't know why the buyer had backed out. They'd done an inspection and they didn't want to share the inspection with us. And so I was like, okay, we'll get our own inspection. Because I'm thinking, oh my God, what's wrong with this house? So we get an inspection. There's nothing wrong with the house that we don't know about. However, then we start to focus on the things that's wrong with this house. The electrical. I mean, it's worked for, you know, the house was built in 1913. The electrical is still working. Never has it not worked, and yet all of a sudden we're focusing on the electrical. The fact that there's no driveway and there's no garage. There wasn't a driveway or a garage when we bought the house. But we started focusing on the fact, oh my God, nobody's going to buy this house. There's no place to park their car. We know where we park our car, but evidently we didn't think that was going to be good enough for them. And then, of course, we are 2 blocks away from the train that drives to Kent many times during the day. And they start blowing their horn on 212th, and they don't quit, I swear to God, until they hit Auburn. So it's not like just one train horn. It is a succession of, we're coming through another intersection and another intersection. So it's loud and it's annoying, and yet, you know, until we wanted to move, it never bothered us. It's part of the charm of living in downtown Kent. But that's where my focus went. And then I had decided what a great thing to do as I say goodbye to this community and then get back to the basics. And so as I was packing up everything to move, I found a book that's called The Basic Principles of the Science of Mind. And I thought, cool, I'm going to use that. Thinking it was by Ernest Holmes. And it's not. It's by Frederick Bales, who actually started the first Science of Mind church in Los Angeles. And so he's looking at the philosophy just like Holmes. In fact, there's not even a twist to it. It's just his words, you know, the way he writes versus the way Holmes writes. So it was perfect anyway. But I read it on Monday, and I was like, should have had a B8, Gail. Seriously. How long have you been practicing Science of Mind? Excuse my French, what the hell were you thinking? That you would get caught up in appearance instead of the truth. That you literally let yourself go down that rabbit hole. That you would say to people when they'd say, how you doing? I'm really stressed. Okay, universe, bring it on. I need more stress in my life. And so the minute I got done reading on Monday, and I know Jim got a copy of this, so he knows I'm not making this up. I texted my real estate agent and my husband and said, all right, gentlemen, in my nicest, I'm a minister and I know how this works, voice. We aren't going to focus any longer on what is wrong with this house. I don't want to hear it. I want you to tell me what's wonderful about the place that I live, that we live. Tell me all the good things, the amazing things about this house. The fact that it's got so much character, so much love. Gray walked into our house and she, as a medium, she protects herself when she walks into a house because she doesn't know what kind of energy is in there. And she said, there is nothing in your house to be protected from. It is so full of love. Let's focus on that. That was Monday afternoon, maybe Tuesday morning. Tuesday afternoon, we get the first offer on the house. It's for $5,000 less than asking price. Most people would be thrilled. I am now in my attitude. I got God on my side. No, thank you. I don't want that offer. And my real estate agent was like, you know, that's a lot more money than he had yesterday. And I said, and it's not the right money for this house. No, I do not want that offer. And in a heartbeat, a second offer came in. Full price. No inspection. No electrical inspection, because we already had the inspection that we were giving to people freely. No inspection. And I went, yeah, we'll take it. And then the second people came in and outbid her by $5,000. And I wanted, then I got into the emotion. No, I want her to have it. She's the one that came in at full price. She should have this house. Why would I give it to somebody that lowballed us and then, you know. And my real estate agent is, Gail, honey, this is not emotional. You don't know these people. This is financial good in your life. I said, okay. However, I do want you to go back to the first lady that made the full price bid. Actually, she would be the second person. The lady that made the full price, and asked her if she would match their bid. And she did. So she got the house. So we sold our house. Woo! And I will tell you, we sold our house because I believe I shifted the way I thought. Now, some people would say, oh, you know, your house was going to sell anyway. And yeah, you can think that. You certainly can think that. However, my belief is, when I got in alignment with my truth, the truth of my being, that I am God-informed, that everything I think has power, and that when I shifted what was wrong to what was right, I attracted the two perfect buyers. I only needed one. I only needed one. That's how this works. Just like before going down those stairs, I heard a voice that said, wait for her to come up, grab the rail. You think that was by accident? I don't. And see, that's the difference. That yes, you can think positively. Absolutely. You have to believe. You have to listen. Or you don't. Quite frankly, it is up to you. For me, what Monday taught me was, don't forget what this philosophy has taught you. Don't forget the power of your thoughts and your words, and how that everything comes back to you. And so you can be thinking, okay, that worked, and I've seen that work in my life. However, it is like Wallace Wattles says, practicing this every moment of every day is laborious. Because I personally, I get lazy, right? Oh, this works, okay, that's good. And then a thought will come in. And I don't do anything about the thought, I just let it ride. It can be a thought about somebody that has said something to me that has got me all upset, and instead of sending them love, I'm like, you know, having an argument in my head with them. That argument in my head is energy. That's a thought. And so what's going to happen the next time this person and I meet? We're going to have that same energy between us because I haven't let it go. I don't know about that person. That's not my business. I need to let that energy go. That's my business. That's the laborious part of this practice. Yes, this works. It is working all the time. Look at your life. Look at your life and decide, hey, life is good. Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing. Then don't change a thought. Look at your life and go, I'd probably like to do a little bit better financially. Or, I'd really like to have a relationship in my life, a loving relationship with a partner. Right? Those are your thoughts. And the reason it's laborious, it's not those thoughts that you're thinking, oh, it's a bright, bright, bright sunny day. Those aren't the thoughts. The thoughts that are running you are the thoughts that are deep, deep down. Frederick Vail says you can change those thoughts. First, I need to become aware of what the thoughts are, right? And then second, I need to create a new groove. I need to pick up the needle in my subconscious mind that has said, you're not good enough. You don't deserve, whatever those old stories are. And I need to move it over. Now, here's the thing that I believe that not necessarily do they tell us. That old groove is still there. That's why this is laborious work. Because what's going to happen if I practice more than half of my life thinking I'm not good enough? What's going to happen if I'm not mindful about my thoughts? If I get lazy? That needle's just going to go, oh, this groove's more fun. It's a little bit deeper. This is familiar. Let's just play this until she notices. Right? Until she notices. So this week, I believe, because I read that, well, I didn't bring the book, but because I read the book, I'll bring it next week so you can see it. Because I read that. House sells on Tuesday. Nope. House sold on Wednesday. House sold on Wednesday. Thursday, I become an international best-selling author on Amazon. With 29 other women, but still, now I can put that in a bio that I'm an international bestseller. I was thinking, wow, life is good. And then we decide we're going to go look for a house. So we go to Ocean Shores. We're going to look for a house in Ocean Shores. I looked at 4 houses. None of them, there was a really nice house, but when I was in the house, I'm like, I don't really feel like I'm at the ocean. You know, I want to hear the ocean, or I want to smell the ocean. I know I can't live on the ocean. I don't have that kind of money in my pocket. But, you know, I want to be able to hear it when I open up my windows. And the houses, there was one house I looked at, I will share this with you, that, Courtney, you're right, perfect view of the ocean. Really. It was magnificent as long as you never turned around and looked at the inside of the house. Because the minute I opened the door to walk in, all I wanted to do was go, oh no, there is bad juju in this house and I don't want to go in. But the owner was there and my real estate agent thought that might be rude, so we walked around and then we left in a big hurry. I didn't find anything in Ocean Shores. So we drive to Long Beach. And there was a house in Long Beach, the front of it looked like a church. It was a white house, it was an A-frame. I thought, this is going to be the house. This is it. So I get out of the car, I'm so excited, kind of. We drove through a neighborhood, not really excited about some of the neighbors' homes, but okay, I could look past that. This is my house. And I'm like, nope, I don't hear the ocean. I don't see the ocean. I don't even know where the ocean is right now because I wasn't driving. And then we did find our house. We found our house in Long Beach. Literally step out the front door, walk, I don't know because I'm not good with measurements, but you don't walk long and you're on a path to the beach. I can open up my windows, I can hear the ocean. I can walk to the ocean in a heartbeat. And I think all of this happened this week because I changed who I was. I became present to the good that is my God, that is me. That's what every single one of you has the ability to do. This isn't something that I get to do because I'm a minister, or I get to do because I'm a practitioner. This is something we are born with. Does it help that I studied practitioner studies? You bet. Does it help that I went to ministerial school? Absolutely. How it helps is I just know more about the philosophy. You can read all those books. Do you remember what Ernest Holmes said? Don't believe what I believe. Read what I read. Then make up your mind. Practice this on yourself. When you get a thought that is not life-affirming or loving about yourself or another person, I invite you this whole week to go, okay, I'm going to have a new thought. I'm going to have a new thought. I may not want to ever play with that person. I used to say, I can love my ex-husband. He doesn't ever get to get into my sandbox, ever. But it doesn't mean that I don't send him love, because he too is the power and presence of God in form. There's 6 billion people on the planet. We are not expected to have relationships with all of them. I believe we should love every single one of them. And that is a practice. Whew, think about that. Think about the ex people in your life. Or think about people that have attacked the country you live in. Think about people who lived a long time ago and the hatred and wars and all of that unrest that happened. Yes, you love them too. You don't pick and choose. Love is the unconditional outpouring of energy. Now, can you imagine if you can love somebody unconditionally? You do not have to like them. You do not have to be in a relationship with them ever. And if they have done something to you that is horrendous, forgiving them is up to you. However, soul to soul, I believe we are supposed to love them. Because if I can send people love, as Diane talked about this morning, if I can be that presence of love, then I can shift the energy in myself, I can shift the energy in this community, I can shift the energy in this state, on this planet. We're the only people that can do that. And I don't just mean the people sitting here or you watching at home. I mean, we, the people of humanity, of the world, we're the only ones that can do that. Yeah. Love thy enemy as thyself. How many of you actually do that? Yeah. Wow, we actually had some people raise their hands. I would not raise my hand. I mean, I did because I wanted those people that can do that to raise their hand. I still have trouble with that. You know, say something unkind to me. I will get back to loving you later, but in the moment, not so much, right? I'm human. We are all human. What we need to remember is we're spiritual. That should be what we lead with. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We chose to be here. We chose to be here right now. Does anybody want to like do a redo? Like, oh, I didn't know this was going to happen. The thing is, yes, you did. I believe we absolutely did. We are here for a purpose. And the practice is to remember that. The practice is to exude love when really what you want to do is just step into the darkness with everybody else and say, okay, I give up. I give up. This is too hard. This is laborious. Poor pitiful me. And yet, if not me, then who? So think about that. Because when I say me, I want you to say that to yourself. If not me, then who? If I don't do it, who's going to? If I look over at Kim and Karen and say, you guys do this, I don't want to. You do it. You know what I would say, what they should say back to me? Why would we do it? What's wrong with you? Right? We're humanity, every single one of us. Every single one of us here is God informed. Nobody here has any more power than anybody else. Your power, so Jim helped me with this because I read this and thought, oh, Jim's going to roll his eyes. Our power is like electricity. So think of big rivers that are dammed. The water runs over turbines. Yeah, okay, it's not yes. And then it flows across big wires into little house wires, into a little tiny light bulb. All of that power that started somewhere finally ends up in a light bulb. And it will sit there forever unless you have the courage to walk up to it and turn it on. See, I've got those kind that you turn on. And a lamp. Some people have different kinds of lamps. I have the, or you can do the switch. Right? So think of this. That power, that source, that one, that's your water. It's running through all kinds of stuff. That big pipe of divine essence. It's in every single one of us. Just like electricity is in every single house normally. There are some out there that probably don't have it. That's a choice. Most houses have electricity. So that power, that source that is God is in every single one of us. And we can carry it from the day we are born until the day we die. And if we don't do anything about it, it's not going to do anything about it either. You're at choice. You turn on your own light bulb. I can't do it for you. We can offer classes here. You know, I can recommend books to read. But I can't make you turn on your light. That switch is yours. And what I hope is, as you kick off 2022, you're all lit up. That's what I want to go away with. That I lit up everybody that is part of this community to really get who they are and why they're here. And so I want to close with reading you. I was trying to find the perfect Sunday to read this because I love this. And it's called The Lost Generation by Jonathan Reed. And it's a palindrome. I am part of the lost generation, and I refuse to believe that I can change the world. I realize this may be a shock, that happiness comes from within. It's a lie, and money will make me happy. So in 30 years, I will tell my children they are not the most important thing in my life. My employer will know that I have my priorities straight because work is more important than family. I tell you this, once upon a time, families stayed together, but this will not be true in my era. This is a quick fix society. Experts tell me 30 years from now, I will be celebrating the 10th anniversary of my divorce. I do not concede that I will live in a country of my own making. In the future, environmental destruction will be the norm. No longer can it be said that my peers and I care about this earth. It will be evident that my generation is apathetic and lethargic. It is foolish to presume that there is hope. And all of this will come true unless we choose to reverse it. All of this will come true unless we choose to reverse it. There is hope. It is foolish to presume that my generation is apathetic and lethargic. It will be evident that my peers and I care about the earth. No longer can it be said that environmental destruction will be the norm. In the future, I will live in a country of my own making. I do not concede that 30 years from now I will be celebrating the 10th anniversary of my divorce. Experts tell me this is a quick fix society, but this will not be true in my era. Families stayed together once upon a time. I tell you this, family is more important than work. I have my priorities straight because my employer will know that they are not the most important thing in my life. So in 30 years, I will tell my children, money will make you happy is a lie. And I realize, oh, that is a lie, and happiness comes from within. I realize this may be a shock, but I can change the world, and I refuse to believe that I am part of a lost generation. Namaste.